Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the best affordable guitar for the money. If you're going to go out and spend $100 to $150 on a guitar, whether it be a Strat, a Les Paul, or any other thing in between, the best company to go to is Rondo Music. Okay, they have a huge following now in the past 5-6 years. I've jumped on the bandwagon. I own actually two now, that I am actually going to keep. The two that I own is one, the Telecaster Body. Okay, this is the Telecaster Body that was done in the mid 2000s. The STL50 Telecaster. I actually have a left-hand version of this guitar that was actually slightly modified. The only modification that was done to this guitar was it was painted. This was the butterscotch version of the guitar, but it was painted by a previous owner who took pride in this guitar, and that's basically I turned it into kind of a relic because I put my own spin on it, but it's basically stock guitar except for the nut. Everything else is stock on this guitar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the company and their brands. I'm maybe 10-15 minutes on the video, but I'm going to talk about their brand. I'm going to talk about the different variety. Now, I own one of their best, probably their three best guitars. Whether you're talking about, because remember, Rondo Music is where you get these guitars from. Okay, SX, the Douglas brand. There's Xavier, which are two of the later companies that they basically threw in there in the past. I'm going to say a year and a half, 2 years, because it's 2014 now. And of course, Agile. Agile is SX, but just with extra parts like Grover tuners, maybe a Floyd Rose bridge, maybe a Caller pieces maybe put inside, but they're essentially the same as the SX guitars. Now if you look on SX's website, they mainly scatter SX around. That's the out of all three, for the money, the SX brand products are the best to get. The Douglas, I'm not familiar too much with the Douglas. The Douglas will use a lot of humbuckers with their Telecasters, their Stratocasters, their Les Pauls. And most of the Douglas model Les Pauls have bolt-on necks, which is fine, but the SX Callisto, what they offer now is three different ones. There's your standard one, which basically gives you a bolt-on neck, SX straight up SX Les Paul copy body, and you are getting actually real wood and real pieces with these guitars. I'm going to show you now one of their best LP Junior copy. The best LP Junior copy on the market today. They discontinued this model early last year. It's a TV yellow, the TV yellow Gibson Les Paul Jr. Now, I've compared this to the real Gibson Les Paul Jr., and I am going to give you the differences in 1 second. I'm going to grab the guitar right now and show you this guitar. Here it is. Okay, so you see the SX logo on the headstock there. Now, this particular guitar is everything that they claim it is. Okay, you are getting an all one-piece mahogany body. Okay, this is solid mahogany. Now remember, the newer models that came out used a slightly lighter grade of mahogany. This is actually one of the it's going to be between 2007 and 2008 when they really put the weight and put all the pieces into these guitars. I'm going to say between 2004 and 2008 are the peak of the company. The newer stuff now, they've changed some things, but they're still the company that they are. They're still giving you this and that. The only reason why I said they've changed because they added Douglas, and there's now the newest one for 2013 and 14 called Hadean. That's actually cheaper than all the other brands that they have, are these Hadean ones, which are actually okay. But for the money, the SX brand is the brand that you want to go with. They give you the most bang for the buck, okay? Now, I'm a musician, of course. I play. I know the ins and outs of guitars. I've learned so much now in the past, I'm going to say year, on setups and things like that I previously I knew, but I didn't really put the effort in. I take it out to my uncle, or I take it out to a friend of mine to get it set up. Now I can do it all myself. Doesn't matter if it's a Les Paul like this here, a Stratocaster, or anything else. I can set them up fine. Okay, what you're getting with this, just like Gibson, all one-piece mahogany body, set through neck, no bolt-on stuff like that. You get your standard pieces that you would get with Gibson for a fraction of the price. Real P90 pickups in top and bottom. You get the standard bridge that you get with Les Pauls, whether it be Epiphone or Gibson. Your stop piece here. 4 controls. This is the full-size model. It gives you everything that you get in the Gibson. You have toning controls for every channel. 3-ply pickguard, which still has the plastic on the cover. I didn't take that off. Okay. 21 fret neck, rosewood, and it actually has black binding on the side of it. Quality-wise, for the money, you would be blown away by the quality of this guitar. This guitar feels like a $600-700 guitar, and it actually sounds and plays like a guitar that you would think would be $500-600. Okay. Now, pieces inside, we're going to say the P90s are exact replicas of real P90 pickups. They sound just like P90s. They give you this. They give you the output. They give you the beautiful tone and bell-like sound and smoothness of a P90. I've heard the real Gibson P90s. I've played P90 Les Paul Juniors. I've played regular P90 Les Pauls. These pickups sound, I'm going to say, if on a scale of 10, if the P90s from Gibson are 10, these are a 9. Output-wise, they're basically about the same. You're going to be at about 6 and 7K if you have your own multimeter. You're going to be in the same rating as the real Gibsons give you. Okay. Now, replacing these pickups, should it be done? It's all about your taste. If you want the little extra, I'm going to say, I can't even say output, because the output on these are fine. If you want the extra little, if you just want for your own brain to say, I have a pair of such and such pickups in my guitar, then do that. But these pickups are P90 copies. They do everything that the real P90s give you, and they are exactly the same. Okay. Now, let's go with tuners. SX makes their own brand of tuners. Everything is done in their factory, okay? They have their own tuners. They use their own pieces. They use their own pots. They use everything on their own. This is an independent Chinese company that makes products for themselves, okay? There are some guys out there, I know there are a few guys out there, I don't want to name any names, one's S and one's G, his first name starts with S and ends with a G, that kind of downs the company. He doesn't specifically tell you what he's downing about the company. The company is a great company. There are so many people that have turned to SX because of the price and the quality over Squier, even Epiphone, and companies, you know, your major companies, Squier, Fender, Epiphone, Gibson, it's all the same. The tuners from the company will say SX on the tuner pegs, okay? They are actually great quality pickups. Tuners, okay? They stay in tune fine. As long as you keep them tight, the screws at the top, they are fine. They have the bell-like, they're the bell-like or the tulip type design. As you can see, the SX name is actually inside of the machine area. You're actually getting an okay quality nut. It's not your just plastic nut. It's actually a mixture, okay? You're getting pearl dot inlays, okay? Pearloid, you know, but that's quality. 3-way selector, which actually, that's the only thing I can say about this guitar that fell apart was the selector. I actually had to glue it back on because the selectors are actually pretty cheap. You can actually replace those with no problem. Okay, electronics, you're looking at the same design and pots that they use for the Gibson designs. Okay, there is shielding inside, and in the cavity of the P90s, there is a type of wax deposit that is at the bottom of the cavity of SX guitars. Okay, they are giving you quality pieces. Okay, they're not giving you just like anything thrown together. They're actually doing their homework and giving you parts and quality that you would expect from a company like this. Okay, that you would not expect from a company like this. There are a few videos online with the guys comparing there's a guy comparing an SX Stratocaster with a classic baby blue a Fender Strat, and he compares them back to back. He does a very intensive detail on rhythm and sounds with these guitars, And let me tell you, the SX $400 is rivaling a $1,000+ Fender guitar. Okay, quality of the neck is there. You get the classic C shape that you would want in a Les Paul Jr. Everything about this guitar is exact. Okay, they give you everything that you would get from Gibson. As far as sound, I want to tell you right now, if Gibson's a 10, this is a 9. For the money, you are not going to find a better Les Paul Jr. copy on the market, hands down. Okay, I've listened and tried them all, going through Sam Ash, going through Guitar Center, all these places. You're not going to find a junior heavy. You know, this is a heavy guitar. You're looking at about 9+ pounds for this guitar here. Okay, the newer ones that came out, the last ones were a little lighter, and the binding on them was a little less than what this model has here. But you were still getting the same sound of the other guitar. The weight was a little different. Some people say that this version, which is the original, the last of the original version, is the best. This model is particularly in mint condition. The only thing is one little scratch on the front. Other than that, there's a little nick in the headstock here, but nothing major at all. Okay, they have their own headstocks design with a kind of a big open book type, which Gibson will give you the open book type. This gives you like the book has more pages on one side than the other. Their own thing. Okay, they couldn't copy to a T, as you see. Instead of the rounded off edge here, they actually point to a tip, which a lot of the Asian companies do, which doesn't bear any difference in the sound quality. Now I'm going to do a video on the sound quality of this compared to the real thing. I'm going to do a sound. Well, this is the real thing. Okay, it's just a replica. Okay, this guitar retailed for $140. Okay, they stopped making these guitars, discontinued. They still have the left-hand version that's in a red or a sunburst version, but it's a left-hand version. Okay, and it's not exactly this version. Okay. Cut that off there. I actually have a really good time trying to find out all the specs on this guitar, and I found out just about everything on it. I'm going to show you the STL50 right now too. That's a great Telecaster. For the money, you're not going to find a better Telecaster for the money. Remember, you're going to pay under $150 for these guitars. All the other competition will probably be at about $300 to $400. Okay, unless you're going for a Squire, which will be in the higher 2s, 3s maybe. You know, according to the finish you're going to get. But for the money, I would go with SX. Now, this is the STL50 Telecaster, left-handed version. I actually have it because, of course, Jimi Hendrix. I actually have it strung to play normally. Well, not normally. Well, to play the normal way most people play. Okay. All the classic anemones are on this model. Everything is exact. There's no difference between this and the Telecaster except the bridge. It is not an exact replica of a bridge. Plate bridge that you would get on a Fender. It's a little different. It's their own thing. It's a stair-step type of design, which if you want to replace this, you basically can, but you would have to do a little bit of drilling and work to get it done. Replacing the pickup would require to replace the plate, which requires drilling. There is potting behind this pickup. It's not like the Fenders where it's actually on the body, or the pick arc actually comes off with the pickup. Unlike Fender, they actually have the pickup inside the cavity already. The cavity is wax potted. It is a gooky material behind it. The pickup itself is not, but the potting around it is, which does help the tonal quality of the guitar. This came in natural blonde, or you want to call it honey, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful maple neck, beautiful gloss maple neck. This is the original SX style. Okay. I don't know if that gloss will show up there, but the whole system is done in a beautiful grain of aged maple. This is twice aged maple. People talk about it's not, this and that. This is actually twice aged maple. And you see there where this was actually being taken apart. My uncle actually was trying to get the original finish back on the guitar. But I basically modded this system by putting I don't know if you can see a little design I put on the side probably can't see it, but it adds a little personalization to it. The only thing that was done with this guitar, it has been set up. The pickups have to be lowered a little better. In the 3/32 range, it has to be put in. It needs new strings. Other than that, this plays just like an American or Mexican Fender Telecaster. Sound quality is beautiful. Each pickup does what it's supposed to do. I don't know the ohm readings on them, but each pickup does what they're supposed to do. This company is phenomenal with the stuff that they give you for the money. The nut was replaced in this, and that was basically it. It's left-handed strum up to be a regular style guitar. Other than that, you were basically getting the same Telecaster style that you would get from any company, from Fender, or even Squier Fender, the standard series, the Classic Vibe series. I would put this up against the Classic Vibe Fender Squier stuff, and it is just as compatible for hundreds less. Classic Vibe, you're looking at about $300–400. You know, you can maybe get them used for $2 something. You know, this at this at $130, man, blows away as far as price compared to the Fender Squier Classic Vibes. The Classic Vibes are great guitars, man. Even the standard Affinity Telecasters are great. I'm not steering anyone away from those guitars. They are great guitars. The Affinity series, the standard series, you cannot go wrong. For the money, if you don't have the online capability to get this, go with the Squiers. You're not going to be disappointed. You know, as long as you get a good one, you're doing a great thing by picking up a Fender Squier. Okay. Epiphone, same thing. If you pick up an Epiphone Les Paul, Epiphone makes a copy of the LP Jr. too, and I've actually compared the two. And there's actually guys that have compared the two. The SX edges it out. The SX LP Jr., which is called the Callisto Jr., which is what they call it. I've done a lot of extensive research on this company. I've called the company around the music. I've talked to some executives. I've talked to a lot of people, and they have basically given me the truth about the company. They put the quality and design that you would expect from an American company or a high quality Japanese company like Samick or any of these other companies, Cord. They give you the same, but with their own twist. Every guitar has a feel of quality that you do not get. Where else are you going to get a twice-aged maple neck on a $100 and something guitar that plays and feels like a $500+ guitar? I'm going to do a second part of this video, and we're going to enjoy ourselves again. We're going to see how they sound. We're going to go from there. Thank you for watching.